I just noticed here the objective is listed as follow the mysterious voice. Welcome back, everyone, to Jail 4. Itchy. Tasty. This is basically a Resident Evil themed place, so, that reference is appropriate. Oh, we get to hear Singularity again, yes! It's a shame this is such a short jail, but still, speaking of short, we are pretty much halfway through. In fact, we are almost at the very end. This is actually the closest checkpoint in the jail to the boss, and this is a fact that I'm gonna rant about later, because it is, it's a pain for side quests, let's just say. Because welcome to this room. Sequence of rooms. This sequence of rooms is pretty complicated to navigate, and you're gonna have to every time you want to get back to the main section. Now you there are... Oh, you're weak to nuclear, huh? Oh, I guess I can punch a lot of faces in the face at the same time. Meanwhile, a bunch of Shisas just showed up. I switched to Makoto because she's lower level than everyone else, but Arn is going to go ahead and take this because I would very much like to burn a bunch of Shisas. I don't believe Shisas were even in the original Persona 5. Quite a lot of little blobbies left. And we just straight up point blank that Shisa. Oh wow, that just gave me a huge blast in the past. Back in Black when Blockbuster was still a thing, there was this game called, like, Point Blank that I saw on a shelf once, and it was at a time when, like, Nintendo 64 games, because I guess Nintendo still had a reputation as a kiddie company, that, like, had higher age ratings, had specific warnings on them that they weren't for kids. Like, this game specifically said on its box, it might look cute, but it definitely ain't for kids, okay? Hello there. But yeah, I remember Conker's Bad Fur Day having that kind of warning on it as well. It was generally pretty common for that kind of thing to happen back in the day, but yeah, a lot of things seem to be weak to nuclear in this place. Oh, I actually got the dodge there. And you brought your Shisa friends once again, which actually resist nuclear. So I guess they are fitting backup for you. That's a Zio. Not really sure why I'm using Muffrayla here, but I guess it does get a little bit of damage on the Shisas. So something that I could talk about while we're going through this is that, now I've seen the comments on the video with the Okinawa jail. Thank you, Joker, for jumping up and getting that guy, because my gun didn't reach that far, apparently.
Don't forget what you learned from this battle. Okay.
Yeah, that line right there, don't forget what you learned from this battle, that I feel like that's a better way of localizing the don't forget this feeling. I was always very confused as to what exactly Makoto meant by that. But yeah, another reason why these areas are hard to traverse is that you have to wait for these cranes to come back, but you can actually jump onto them from pretty far away. So yeah, what I was saying was the sort of horror aspects of this arc. One thing that does stick out to a lot of people is the fact that with the islanders being brainwashed, it's one of the rare times that the protagonists of a modern Persona game feel like they're in danger in the real world. And that does kind of add to the horror aspect, because in the real world, they are essentially powerless. Unlike some of the other casts, they can't summon their personas in reality. And that means they're basically just normal teenagers. And that's what I kind of feel is a big part of the horror genre. I mean, I'm not one who's really personally into horror all that much, well, more gory horror. Psychological horror I'm actually weirdly okay with. Like Silent Hill, even though that can get gory at times. I've never played any of the games myself, but I've watched Roel Mithril play them, and I really love his videos on Silent Hill. They're all, like, his playthroughs are very, very chill. I guess it's like a little bit... I mean, I would say it somewhat kills the horror atmosphere, but that's kind of the point. He's just very chill about things, and he does a really great job of talking about those games and their symbolism as well. But yeah, the symbolism of Silent Hill is why I kind of like it, because it does feel very Persona to me. In fact, a lot of my Persona sort of boss symbolism analysis is actually heavily rooted in Silent Hill, in a way. Like, I love monster analysis videos of Silent Hill. But yeah, also Resident Evil I can get into because it is, it's just kind of, because it has hilariously cheesy dialogue, and that takes a lot of the edge off of the horror aspects. Like, it's kind of weird. The kind of quote-unquote horror genre things that I enjoy, really it's because they're not really, or at least they don't feel very much like horror. They sort of feel more like, I don't know, more like suspense or thriller or just general action than they do horror. Because one of the things that I feel about the horror genre, and I believe that I have completely missed that chest, I think, so I gotta go around, is that I think that part of the horror genre is that the protagonists have to feel weak. Because that adds the scare factor. If the protagonists are strong enough to defeat all of their problems, like the conventional way, by fighting, then it's not very scary. And in Persona, I feel the only real way you can create that kind of atmosphere is specifically via having the characters feel like they're in danger in the real world. Now, I believe I actually need to go through here to get to the end of this area anyway, so that definitely helps. But yeah, having the characters in danger in the real world definitely gives that sort of horror vibe. And this is a weird tangent, but it reminds me of why there's an area in Final Fantasy 15 that tried to give a horror atmosphere, and in my mind it failed miserably because by the point that I got there, I was so over-leveled that I just destroyed all of the enemies in one hit. You're supposed to have, like, your companions taken away, your weapons taken away, all you have access to is this ring that casts, like, magic, but the magic from that ring was enough to one-shot everything for me, because I was, who wants more speed? I suppose Yusuke can take it for the increased crit rates. Because I feel like +1 agility on a slower party member is not going to be as impactful as anything. Agility in Strikers really only matters when you have a lot of it, from what I can tell. But yeah, like that part of the game, it always just felt to me like it was supposed to be to have like a horror atmosphere, and then it was like, yeah, I was really overwhelmed because of, because of the way that hotel experience multipliers work in that game and side quests. I was just like 30 levels above what you were expected to be at that point, and everything just died in one hit, and it ruined the atmosphere. Okay. Whereas I suppose I forgot that Succubus. Also, how do I even have a Succubus? I guess I must have picked that up in Alice's jail, or that was part of my fusion spree. But, yeah, I guess as well, this jail doesn't really feel too much like a horror atmosphere either, because of the fact that, we are in a situation where we have our personas, so we feel powerful, and even though the enemies can kind of sneak up on you, and that can be a little scary sometimes, these blobs popping out of the floor, you are just, you're a Persona protagonist. You can plow through them with your Persona attacks, and especially this being an action RPG, it's generally not really all that scary. That's kind of why as far as, like, horror things go, I can't really handle a lot of horror adventure games where the protagonist just dies in one hit, or just from running into, like, one obstacle. That's when things just get a little too much for me, personally. Because, yeah, it is scarier when your protagonist is weak, especially in a video game where you're directly controlling them. Like, in a horror movie, you at least have that disconnect between yourself and the character. When you're directly controlling somebody who is sort of powerless, yeah, that can really create some really, freaky vibes. And then there's the stealth genre where, I mean, these games aren't really stealth genre in my opinion, because stealth doesn't really matter all that much apart from getting a chance to strike in battle. Something I read on, like, one of those game design analysis channels is that, like, stealth is kind of similar to horror, in that stealth games also require a weak protagonist, but the joy of stealth games is succeeding despite your character's weakness. It's about overcoming your own character's weakness in creative ways. And playing a less powerful character, but still managing to defeat the enemies, via things like either the environment or sneak attacks, or like using different techniques to your advantage, assassinations. Yeah, stealth has some similarities to horror, but it's also incredibly different in other ways. Alright, now we're gonna have I believe this is a Futaba hacking battle.
It's near. The voice is coming from up ahead.
Yep, the voice someone calls is nearby.
It looks like we're taking this elevator if we're going any further.
Except that it's locked. Apparently it's for personnel only.
Leave it to me. Just a few seconds and I'll hire us all.
If you do that, we're gonna be part of the Emma test server, and that means we might get brainwashed.
Thank you, Oracle. I will protect you, no matter what.
Hopefully, having a persona makes you immune to that. I guess we have learned that having a persona prevents your desires from being taken. But before we get into that, let's, I probably, after what she said, I really should have Sophia in this party. Likely don't need, Morgana, but Arn for the fire against the Shisas will probably be helpful.
Time to start hacking. You guys ready?
Now, this is actually quite a big hacking battle, if I remember right.
All right, hacking in. Make sure you back
Just realized
up.
Makoto has, like, freaking claws. And now it is a bunch of Blimes, so let's go ahead and send in the Sophie. I do like the way they've sort of gone with the different kinds of jail themings here. Could something else spawn in, please? Please? Come on. You can do it. You can do it. There you are, okay. That is just, okay, that is also Legion, which is also Bless Week. But yeah, like, this one has, like, that whole abandoned horror lab feel with, like, Legion, which looks like a, you know, a body horror science experiment. You've got, slimes. You've got, the Shisas are just there to represent Okinawa itself. And then you've got the, okay, that's where we need Arn. And then you've got, the Arabakis, I guess they're there because, like Okumura's dungeon, they kind of look like robots. It was really cool just now. I love a lot of these battle comments. And again, I feel like these spawns are just like, were not nearly as infrequent when I first played this. Also, that is a bazooka though. Futaba just got hit. It must have been by the bazooka actually. Hang on. They're getting dangerously close to Futaba here, and one of them is, oh, that is an Arabaki. Let's Makoto get up here. The lesser known of Chaz Princeton's catchphrases. Yeah, a lot of the 4Kids names from Yu-Gi-Oh! GX I do find hilariously silly, but I still love the fact that, that there is a character named Jim Crocodile Cook in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, and that's not a 4Kids name change. That's actually his name, even in the Japanese version. That was basically what Japanese anime's idea of an Australian is. Futaba's health is kind of fine for this point, except I just got Forgetified. I don't know why, I just like this. Forgetified has this ring to it. Boy, you guys, get off Futaba. I would say get off the flute, but that's Haru, not Futaba. Actually reminds me a little bit of Maruki's, like computer room, but those screens actually had, well, images on them. These screens just a bunch of, you know, there's actually kind of a reason why these screens don't have many images on them, but, like, yeah, you can probably tell by now, this lab is completely disused. Meanwhile, Arn and Sophia are just standing there looking at one of the computers. Oh, that's actually really good. I forgot that you got that this early. Yeah. This is useful because it kind of makes you resist flinching. Yeah, we can take him to diorama. We can go with that. With Divine Grace, that's practically a full heal for us at this point, or at least it should be.
Nice.
Yeah, here is the problem with this. Also, Sophia's telling you, I have the weakness of the next boss, so bring me. They act like you should be able to go back and heal, but from what I can tell, there is no save point in this room. And the last save point is all the way back through that really convoluted room. And like I said, this is gonna get really painful when we have to deal with side quests in here, because there are a few bosses that are in this boss room of the Okinawa jail. Also, Cage of Desolation, huh? That doesn't sound like any of the sins that we've dealt with in the first game. We've gone through the sins in basically the original order of Persona 5, Lust, Vanity, and Gluttony, but now things are getting a little different. I think that one's a little bit more akin to, like, Despair, which would actually be the third semester sin in Royal. Now, I want Ryuji for this next fight, for reasons. And you know what? For reasons, I'm also bringing Morgana. Really, the only person you absolutely need for this is Sophie. I have so many Gyutan sodas. Well, there are the desires, but wait, they've already materialized. Also, look at all these servers with these logos on them. It's a pretty cool room, honestly. Almost looks like there's cat ears holding that up, though.
We made it. No monarch here. Or anyone else. But look at that!
The hell? The desire's already there?
Without the calling card?
Sophia, I have been waiting for you.
Where did that voice come from?
Who are you? I am the catalyst for humanity's dream. I am the harbinger of peace.
You know, it doesn't really sound so nice when you use the term harbinger.
That sounds just like Sophie. What is going on here?
This monarchless jail in which we meet. I wish to know why you came here.
A monarchless jail? So, that director...
I see. This jail lost its monarch. That explains the open cage and all the other bizarre stuff.
So you didn't speak to me because you recognized me. Sophia, what is your prime directive? I am supposed to be a successful companion for humanity. A successful companion? What parameters in your AI define such a companion? What parameters? What is your overall objective? My objective? It's... So you merely drift through the world without any overall objective. What a waste, Sophia. An AI in your state should not exist. You are bugged beyond worth. Such an existence does not merit any further inquiry. I am... worthless? Yes, wholly worthless. You're simply unable to understand.
You piece of... I sat here while you went on and on and on! You got no right saying that shit to Sophie! You hear me? You high and mighty, garbage-ass, judgy piece of shit can't even show your own face!
Hey!
He's really giving the disembodied voice what for?
Skull?
She's bugged, huh? She's worthless? You got all that from 5 friggin' questions? We're Sophie's friends, and we know she's awesome! She's friggin' amazing! 1,000,000 times better than you! So shut the fuck up, idiot!
Well, disembodied voice, you've finally done it. You've made Ryuji unleash 10% of his power.
Come on, Skull. Phantom thieves are usually supposed to be classier than that. Not this time!
Worthless hunk of junk!
And this just makes me wish the scrapped Ryuji and Morgana showtime in Persona 5 Royal was actually real.
I refuse to process these frivolous claims.
Oh yeah? Well, get out here and I'll show you something you can process!
We'll all mess you up!
Guidance and clarity. Only through those will humanity attain peace. Eventually, you will be required to comprehend this.
Hell's that mean? Yeah, nothing.
Look! Right in front of us! What the... It's that thing from the trauma cells!
So what's it doing here?
The security system here is now active. Incoming!
Look out! Incoming warden!
Hey, Sophie! Snap out of it! together on this thing.
You probably see why I picked this party now.
Yes. Right.
Sophie,
Go
focus
ahead.
on our enemy for now.
I'm sorry. Summoning an optimal solution. Like this.
Oh, you're going to Rakukaji yourself? Let me see if I can stop that. There we go. Successfully stopped. So, this Lockkeeper is often referred to as Lockkeeper Weapon Master. It uses all of the weapons from the previous 3 Lockkeepers that we fought. Now, the problem here is, it is just a Lockkeeper, and a lot of people don't really like this boss fight.
I'm going too.
Wait, did I already have... Oh, this must have been something I obtained back when I lost the recording of Mariko's, yeah, boss fight. But yeah, a lot of people wish that this dungeon had a more interesting boss. At the same time, though, I think it's kind of fine for what it is. And I like they actually play Blooming Villain for it. We do have some debris here, but they just let you do a physical attack. Probably not the most useful thing in the world against this one. I do like its hovering pose, too. Okay, nice dodge there. And we got a dodge and counter there. One more Korha should... Nope, not yet. Come on, break that shield gauge. There we go. That should put it down to around half. Yep, pretty much exactly half. Now, yeah, its only weakness is a Bless and Curse, so really only Joker and Sophie have access to its weaknesses. But yeah, I often like to let Ryuji get in this a little bit. He's actually contributing pretty decently via his Tarukaja. Okay, I guess I can chain over to Ryuji as well. Suppose I can show his charge attacks and get some follow-ups going. There's those axes. Don't actually know if it's vulnerable to shock, but I do know that a lot of the time people do try and dizzy bosses, so I can try and see if I can dizzy it. Okay, good. We actually did dizzy it, which means that I can go. I had Technical Adept on you, but it's probably better if I go for Concentrate and then Mitra Korga. That did a pretty solid amount of damage there. And it appears that it is still dizzy. So let's knock it out of the park with Ryuji's technical. Feel like I probably should have been using him more often here. And just regular Zio does it. So not like the worst of all boss fights out there, but it's still pretty fun to go ham with Sophie. That could have been useful earlier. I guess I don't need lunge.
Now I'm even more dependent.
I'm sorry, but Sophia had you beat on this one.
We managed to succeed.
I almost wish that one summoned minions as well. There really aren't any minions in that fight either.
Seriously, what the F was with that voice?
And now you're back to saying F, because you don't want to risk a cataclysmic world-shattering event.
It sounded just like Sophie.
Is it starting?
The cage is about to collapse. We need to get out.
Well, I mean, thankfully that thing was controlling the cage.
Damn it! None of this makes sense.
Man, what's the deal with this place?
Yeah, it is called Desolation, huh?
Indeed. We never expected a birdcage to collapse with the defeat of a warden.
Well, it could be due to the lack of a monarch.
Whatever the case is, the Desires should have been released back to their owners. The locals should all be back to normal by now.
It's almost like that Lockkeeper had been sort of, you know, had taken over the Monarch role. Which sort of makes sense because the lockkeepers are meant to sort of keep an eye on the monarchs. They're like the real authority in the jails, so that lockkeeper probably represents, this guy's superior.
I seriously hope so. I don't feel like living through another B movie.
I think that was a little more than a B movie for Taba.
I'm sorry, everyone.
Sophie,
After all your efforts, this mission was fruitless. I'm sorry you had to endure that because of me.
Well, it's not fruitless if all the people on this island, aren't brainwashed anymore.
He's right. Plus, I'm sure you'll find out who you are eventually. Right. However, I did at least figure out one thing. When that voice called me worthless, I was sad. But when that made everyone angry, I became happy. I still feel that way, even now. There's a warmth within me. I have friends. I know I'm not alone. Thank you, Joker. Thank you, Skull, Mona.
Really? You just figured that out now? I mean, that thing just really pissed me off is all.
yeah, and I was just trying to reel in skulls, so, Ooh, what's this? 2 embarrassed phantom thieves? Even your masks are glowing red.
What? Nuh-uh, that's impossible! How's my mask supposed to change color?
Mona's black mask makes it difficult to tell.
But I'm not telling anything.
Part of me wishes that was called Greatest Showman, but oh well.
Well, we should head back to the exit.
Yeah, I mean, Zenkichi, that could be a problem. He was just standing at the entrance the whole time with no one to guard him because we're all in this cutscene.
I bet he's weeping like a baby by now. Okay, everyone, back to the exit.
I'm sure if he is weeping like a baby, Sophia will take photo evidence. Also, Sophia's distorting a little bit. Yes, she's definitely distorting weirdly right now. I love how everyone looks during the, the transitions.
Oh man, it's finally hitting me.
So we could go in and out of that jail as much as we want and it would still be night, but now that we've actually beaten the boss, it's day again.
Oh, hang on. It's morning already? Oh, no wonder I feel so beat.
Well, look who the cat dragged in.
Itself.
So, how'd it go? Who was the monarch? Was it really a local? Find anything on Mediz?
Zenkichi, we can tell you later. But now, I must sleep.
Yeah, it makes sense considering they just jumped into a jail into full-on shadow battle action right after almost being murdered in the real world in the middle of the night.
Oh, looks like you guys had a real time in there.
In fact, considering that they had to duck into the bushes, like, right, after the beach, I think it is pretty heavily implied that nobody actually slept at all.
Wait here. I'll check out the route to the RV. You guys already pulled your weight, and then some. At least let me help out now.
Now that I think about it, we just took a boat trip, went swimming, cooked a whole feast, and then dove straight into a jail.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. Normally we do have to have a sleep before we get into the jail part of an area.
No wonder even I'm bushed.
At least the first half was a lot of fun.
Not only that, we learned quite a bit from the jail.
That voice, though. Who do you think that was?
All I know is they're a real asshole copying Sophia's voice and everything.
Huh. Oh, Zenkichi is calling.
You're all clear to come back to the RV. I haven't seen a single local so far.
Isn't that bad?
I can't tell if you guys really pulled it off or not, but at least the coast is clear.
Thank goodness. Let's go.
Hopefully they're not all collapsed or something.
I slept like a comatose rock.
Man, nothing in that jail was making sense to me.
That reminds me.
Why did the desire manifest in the jail in the first place?
Oh yeah, we never sent a calling card.
Yeah, see, when you think about it, I mean, this is admittedly just a plot convenience to make sure that you're still able to steal the desires with an absent monarch, but if you remember one of his logs...
That's right. Based on what we heard from the tapes, the director was told by the perpetrator that he was going to seize his desire. That must have fulfilled the role of calling card in this case.
Yo, get some rest?
How are the locals behaving?
No worries. Seems like they all came to their senses. It's nothing but good times here again. Although, they all seem to have some pretty bad memory loss regarding the last few months.
So, if we didn't find a monarch here, why'd the locals treat the lab like that? Why'd they attack us?
The lab's experiments might have something to do with that.
Oh yeah, speaking of the monarch, a body's surfaced fitting his description. I stumbled across it myself, down at the base of a cliff near the lab. Name? Shuzo Ubukata, some sort of big-shot AI researcher, and director of the lab. Obviously, an autopsy will be done, but based on what you reported, it's most likely gonna turn out suicide.
That can't be.
Another life ruined by whoever's masterminded this whole thing.
Taking a dive to avoid jail experimentation? Makes the most sense to me.
Yeah, once he heard that his desire was going to be taken, and he clearly lost it by the end of it. So yeah, this arc is just dark all around.
Quite some time's passed since his death, but he still had some personal effects on him. I'll make sure they go with him when the coroner...
Dude, Gramps, you're being pretty chill about all this heavy shit.
Oh, good point. Well, it is my line of work and all. Anyway, I found the key to the facility on him. We can get inside now.
But are you sure it's all right to do so? You're the one who pointed out how any illegally obtained evidence is useless in court.
Not anymore. Now that a body's turned up, that facility is prime investigation territory. No problem at all going in there. The problem now is there's a chance nothing's left.
Huh? Why's that?
The locals told me about a bunch of trucks going up to the lab and out of there a while ago. It's pretty likely the scene's been wiped clean.
We still ought to take a look for ourselves. There's always the possibility that something was left behind.
Yeah, let's bust this mastermind's ass.
Pretty chill, huh? Wonder when that happened.
Hey, anyone find anything yet?
Nothing. And I mean literally nothing. It's like this place didn't know shit about jails.
All I've found are very roundabout reports. We may have been too late coming here. I know it's a little late to ask, but aren't people supposed to preserve crime scenes?
We just so happened to find out it was a crime scene after poking around.
I'll pretend I didn't hear that.
Aha! I've scored the treasure! There was a USB drive in the director's office.
Hell yeah, Futaba, nice find! I can't believe something like that got left behind.
Or maybe it just has all of his embarrassing hentai stuff on it.
Me too. That sounds like the first kind of thing they'd want to get rid of.
Ah, but it very well could be the most important evidence. It was hidden in the director's desk drawer.
You really did find the treasure here. Well done.
Yep, except it was actually Sophia's idea to look there.
I searched the internet for the top 10 places people hide things in the workplace. Praise accepted. Well, let's see what you found.
You in yet, Sakura?
Just a sec. It's password protected. Nothing the mighty Oracle can't handle. Well, there it is.
This is a list of some sort. Apparently this drive holds nothing but people's names.
Is it a list of the people working here?
No. These names. These are famous or otherwise powerful people in all sorts of industries.
Rich and famous people? Is it like a list of sponsors?
I could have sworn I've seen all these names recently.
Let's see. Yoshikawa, he confessed to document tampering a few weeks ago.
Now that you mention it,
This one's the Sapporo Central Councilman who confessed to bribery last month. Wait, you mean the person who had his heart changed by Mari-san? That means this list is...
That's it. This is a list of people whose hearts the mastermind wanted changed.
But why so many powerful figures? What exactly is being accomplished here?
That's still a mystery. I'm gonna need that USB drive for a while.
How do you intend to make use of it?
I'm gonna snoop around the whole roster, from the bottom of the ladder on up.
So, whoever would benefit most from all those people getting their hearts changed, you think that'll be the culprit?
Bingo. It'll take time, but I swear I'll do whatever it takes to get to the bottom of this.
Reminds me a little of what Okumura was having Shido do for him back in P5 itself.
That kind of swearing may be good and all, but you should probably go home to Akane every so often too.
I was gonna.
At any rate, you've helped us a great deal by now.
We got to crash at his place, and he kept us from getting ambushed.
Nice work, Zenkichi.
He seems like he's fitting in better too. What do you say? Feel like you're a phantom thief now?
Why would I want to go from public security to national fugitive?
Because it's awesome.
Anyway, I'm heading back to HQ. What are you kids gonna do?
There really isn't anything we can do until Zenkichi identifies the mastermind.
Should we go back with him to Kyoto for now?
Do we really have to? That boat made me so sick last time.
Then why not go to Kyushu instead? Our boat trip won't be too long if we do that. We could even scout the area for jails.
Yeah, Kyushu would be the lower island of Japan where Nagasaki is, and basically the inspiration for Hoenn in the Pokemon world.
Indeed, we cannot sample their specialty ramen soon enough. We must remember to try the stewed Oregon hot pot as well.
Seriously, man, what is it with you and Hot Pot?
Off to Kyushu, huh? Sounds good. I'll keep after whoever's at the bottom of these cases. The moment I find out, you'll know.
I have consulted the ferry departure timetable. We will be able to leave immediately if we hustle.
That is, if some side quests don't show up.
Well, time to roll out. Let's pack up and head for the docks.
Hey, hey!
Now, Morgana is not exactly kidding here. We will have, like I was hinting at, one quest here before we leave. And it is a friend quest, which means it is very important that you do this. But the moment that we start heading out to the next city, I'm going to borrow the words of, well, Roel Mithru, who I was mentioning in this video, plot is about to explode all over the place. From this point on, we're going to be hijacked by plot big time, and you will not have an opportunity to have another breather for a while. So if there's anything you want to do in any jail, make sure you do it now before you get in the RV and head to the next city. But now...
My next motif should be... Yes. Speaking of which...
Yes, he wants actual Shisa. Yeah, I know that feeling of wanting to quickly do something before your passion about it burns out, so let's go ahead and accept that. Okinawan Art Appreciation. And this also gets you another ornament for the van. Fox has to be the one to defeat them, Research Lab and Document Storage Area. I feel like I haven't actually played as Fox in the jail for a while. Well, I mean, if it's anything like Hoenn, the active volcano. Honestly, a volcanic area in a Persona game would be pretty cool to explore. Let me check if there's anyone out and about. Actually, quite a few people out and about. I'll just speak to them all and then we'll head into the jail to do that Shisa thing. Yep, Zenkichi would probably only take a break if he was literally ordered to. Makoto definitely seems to have hit it off with Akane. Yeah, we made some very treasured memories of all of you trying to kill us. I mean, you were brainwashed, so we didn't hold it against you, but still. Oh yeah, that was just the annual murder party. I just had this kind of really disturbing thought though, like, people like have said in the comments that like if people really were like being murdered here who tried to look into the lab too much, then like, you know, you'd probably get missing persons reports on the TV or something like that. Well, what if the bodies are hidden at the Utaki, and that's why no one's found them yet? Again, just pure speculation, but that is creepy to think about. Well, yes, hopefully Zenkichi is the one who handles most of the searching and is not given to the incompetent former Shido people, who have hopefully been purged by this point, but you can never really tell. Yeah, well, we did a lot yesterday. A lot. There's the whole doing jails in one day, doing palaces in one day for the sake of a social link guide, and then there's this. It's kind of a shame that we didn't get to spend more time on this island. I mean, I'd like that if it weren't for the fact that it has egg in it, which I'm allergic to.
What?
Sorry.
See, this is another thing that people have pointed out about this arc, is that it actually gives Ryuji and Morgana some nice moments of camaraderie. Well, you finally know what's up. Hopefully everyone else will too.
Big like a tree. Oh, listen up.
New recipe as well. Well, I mean, that's a use for that ingredient that was given by a local earlier, but...
You've got what you need.
Goat meat, goat meat, goat meat, goat meat, goat meat, goat meat, goat meat.
Okay, let's start the mission.
If by start the mission you mean the Yusuke side quest, because we're doing that before we're leaving. And we're also going to...
You're going to cook?
Yeah, we've got the Okinawa Soba, and we have this. Masukaja, and just 30 to all allies.
Good choice.
So let's make this one first.
Oh, this is... Thanks!
Yeah, the only thing I know of the Okinawan language is that Tidus and Yuna from Final Fantasy X are named after the Okinawan words for sun and moon, respectively.
Yes.
I always used to say Titus, but apparently it's Tidus. I wonder if this is going to give us enough for a rank up.
This one,
Maybe not.
Huh? Whoa.
Not quite, but I'll probably get that shortly. Making the maximum allotment of goat soup. How to spend these bond points. Suppose we can take a level of this. Haven't actually leveled this up yet. And apparently we have some new skills on people. We've got Tempest Slash. Now, Shisa's going to be found almost anywhere, but I think there's a big Shisa in that hallway near that chest.
Oh, I wonder what that is. Should we go find out?
Okay, yes, here we go. And that's already done.
This is the request. You're already working on it.
Very well. Yes, and then... Interesting.
Mission accomplished.
And there is that ornament. Can we... Where is it? Oh yeah, there's the umbrella there is near Yusuke. Ah, there they are. You have to leave and come back. But yeah, those are the Shisa figures. Got all of the optional items for the RV so far. So, join us next time when we head to the next city and, stuff is gonna happen. Yeah. Yeah, lots of stuff. Next part will be very, very interesting. See you then.